I don't know. Okay. Good morning. Happy Easter. He is risen. It is a little cool out. It's about 40 something. And I'm out on my deck, obviously with my friend, Flamingo, my Flamigo. Um, and I'm out here because I love early morning Easter sunrise services. And a couple years ago, we had one out here on our deck with friends and neighbors, and it was small and for me really nice. But it's already super light, so I don't know. I obviously missed the sunrise for this. Wish I'd gotten coffee. It is a little bit cold, but I just there's a lot of things that I've been thinking about, and I thought it'd be fun if anybody is up, if they wanted to meet with me here for Easter sunrise celebration. It's not a service. You cannot call this a service. It'd be like a devotion or something really small. But it's been a crazy couple weeks. It's like nothing is normal, and this is a crazy Easter. It's not normal either. And I was thinking about this yesterday that it's very much like the first Easter, not normal at all. Nothing was normal. Friends of mine, Dana and Rick Franklin, wrote a letter that we got in the post this week, and they were saying very much the same thing, and it reminded me that the time frame for those people around Jesus, nothing, nothing was normal. Everything was uncertain. There's so much anxiety. Their whole world had turned upside down. There's this group of people that were following Jesus, and it wasn't just the 12 disciples. It was a bunch of men, a bunch of women, and a lot of them had given up their jobs to follow Jesus. A lot of them had just kind of dropped what was normal for them at the time. And I I can imagine, this person who they were just getting an inkling, just getting an idea about that he was God himself, just not quite there yet. This person that they were following and they intended to follow for the rest of their lives, and they were so behind and so loved. Suddenly he's taken away from them violently. He's beaten, he's tortured, and then in front of their eyes, he's killed. And it was real. Like the death itself, he was actually real. It wasn't, where he's in the tomb banging on the stone saying, hey, excuse me, you made a mistake. I'm still here. Jesus was buried in that tomb. So you can imagine, oh, I don't know if I really can imagine, but you can try to imagine what it was like. Everything that they knew, their normal at that moment was not normal anymore. They were kind of huddled together. It says in the Bible that they stayed together because they were afraid of the people who had gone after Jesus, and they didn't know what to do. Basically, somebody that they put all their eggs in one basket, all their commitment into, and who he said he was. Suddenly he's not there. He's dead. How do you follow somebody who's dead? So it got me thinking, of course, because here we are in this world at the moment that is so not normal. There's a lot of anxiety. I don't know what you're going through in terms of the COVID-19, whether you're affected by it physically or friends or family are affected by it, whether your job is affected by it, whether just having to stay at home, affects everybody and not getting out. There's just so much not normal. And there's a lot of anxiety when I talk to people. And one of the things, if you've known me for more than 5 minutes, my favorite scripture is, well, one of my favorite scriptures is Philippians 4:6. Don't be anxious for anything, but everything. By prayer and petition, present your request to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. I mean, that's a huge promise. And it sounds so easy to say, oh, yeah, don't worry about nothing, pray about everything, and everything's going to be grand. But in reality, again, like I've said a million times, I tell God what I'm worried about, what I'm anxious about. I set it before him and say, look, I can't actually change these circumstances. I can't do anything about it. They're yours. Here, take them. It's your job. You said, cast your cares on you. Well, here's my care. And I give it to him. And then 5 minutes later, I look at my hands and suddenly I see all the worries that I had still in my hand. I'm like, oh, I thought I did this. And I do the same thing. I say, Lord, I can't I can't control the outcome of these things. I cannot change this, but I want your peace and I want your commitment to this. And I give it to him again and I tell him it's his job, his problem, not my problem. And it's like a declaration in a sense. And then 5 minutes later, I might be in the same place, but I will continue to do that over and over until it lessens and lessens and lessens throughout the day until I have peace. And I know that those things that I am anxious about are not mine, and they're not my problems, and they're not something that I can carry, and Jesus needs to. So that is always my plan for worry. And that's something that all of us are going through, like I said, is different worries, different anxieties, different cares. And I can't believe I'm going to do this. I don't even know if I can do this. I'm going to actually sing a little kid song. I may regret this forever. Especially my voice is all croaky from the morning. Uh, I cast all my cares upon you. I lay all of my burdens down at your feet. Every time I don't know what to do, I will cast all my cares upon you. And there's so many times I think of that song and I sing it sometimes over and over again. But it helps me because it reminds me, you know, going back to the followers of Jesus. Jesus is in that tomb. That Friday must have been horrible. I can't even imagine. And they, I honestly, I just don't understand how they would be feeling, I guess. We can guess. But that Friday is horrible. It's like the end of whatever was going on for them. But they didn't realize that Sunday was coming. They didn't realize that Easter resurrection was just around the corner. And look at us now. We don't know how long it is before this whole thing breaks. We don't know how long. But we don't have to wait for peace. We don't have to wait for the end of anxiety. We can have peace right now. Peace is available in the midst of your worst crisis. And fair enough, I'm not in a crisis right now. I do not have close family, close friends who are fighting for their lives. I have a former boss that we've been praying for. So earnestly praying for these last 3 weeks. But in my family, I don't have anybody. I'm grateful because I'm still working. But regardless, there's other things that are going on that I still worry about. And I still require that peace from God. So those disciples didn't know what was going on, didn't realize Sunday was coming, didn't realize that for generations and generations after this, we would celebrate Easter and the risen Christ. And Sunday came, and there we go. And here. Okay. After the Sabbath, As the first light of the new week dawned, that's basically just about now, Mary Magdalene and the other Mary came to keep vigil at the tomb. This is where Jesus was buried. Suddenly the earth reeled and rocked under their feet as God's angel came down from heaven, came right up to where they were standing, and he rolled back the stone and then sat on it. Shafts of light blazed from him. And I was laughing because I was thinking, for just a second, I thought, wait a second. Why did the angel roll the stone away? I mean, Jesus didn't need anybody to roll the stone away from him. And then I realized, then he says, his garments shimmered snow white, and the guards of the tomb were scared to death. They were so frightened they couldn't move. And the angel spoke to the women, there is nothing to fear here. I know you're looking for Jesus, the one they nailed on the cross. He's not here. He is raised. He was raised just as he said. Come and look at the place where he was placed. The angel didn't move the stone away from the mouth of the tomb for Jesus. He was gone. He rolled the stone away for us, for Mary and the other Mary, so that they could see what had taken place. They could see what Jesus had done for them. And that's what we need. Sometimes we need a stone rolled away from our heart in order that we can see what Jesus has done for us. And I know for me, he's given me peace. And he gives me the unbelievable grace to be able to ask daily to forgive me, to be with me, to intercede for me, to be my champion, but also be my closer than any person on this earth could be. And that's an amazing gift. So the angel rolled away the stone, and they looked inside to see what Jesus had done. And they were amazed, and they ran off and told the disciples, and that started all that before they saw Jesus. But that's where we need to be, is to have our heart's stone rolled away. Ask Jesus for that miracle, in a sense. Ask him. Let him know that you want peace with him, that you want to be at peace with God. It's pretty amazing. It really is a miracle. And the thing is really all you have to do is recognize that your heart is not in the same place that God's heart is. And ask for him to bring your heart to where he is. Make them meet. And he does the work. We just have to want that. So, today, Easter, wonderful, amazing. He is risen. He is risen indeed. Stones rolled away. Look inside. See what Jesus did for you. And go for peace. This next week, when anxiety comes, when worry or fear comes, stop where you are. Stop. And go for Philippians 4:6 and read it and declare it and say you're going to have peace because you're giving it to God. Go for peace. That's my motto. I love you and have a great Easter. A very not normal, momentous, hopefully never going to happen type Easter again, but I am grateful to God for what he did for salvation and just the incredible gift of salvation that he's given us and the peace. All right. See ya. First time. See you in the real world someday.